Hello, my name is Brendan O'Neill. So obviously this is Project One, our Tesla research and analysis. And I'm just going to walk you through some of the things that I found pretty interesting and that stood out to me about Tesla, both their company and their products. So just a little bit of background about Tesla. The company began in 2003. It was actually founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Many people think it was actually founded by by Elon Musk. However, he actually became CEO in 2008 after the financial crisis. He led I think it was a Series A investment that Tesla was looking for, and after he became the lead in that, he became the CEO. So Tesla, they're much more than an automaker. I know if you ask a lot of people just walking around, you ask them, what is Tesla to you? They'll say, oh, they're just a US automaker. However, they're much more than that, with a very strong belief in energy concentration, such as solar panels, lithium ion batteries, and something that was pretty cool in my opinion is the Powerwall, which I'll touch on a little later. So, in addition to um, the vehicles that you see and hear of all the time, there's very high concentration in energy concentration from Tesla. And they became public in 2010, opening at $19.20. And to this day, when I wrote this, their stock was up to $341.53. And for a company that has not been profitable yet, that's pretty impressive. That in It's getting close to 7 years to the day. They have ballooned, I think, to about 2,000%, and they still have not made a profit. So, if Tesla can start to turn profits, that stock will just keep rising. So, some of the innovations that stood out to me, obviously, their vehicles such as the Model S, Model X, Model 3. The Model S was one of the first vehicles. Um, it was a little more pricey. I think it was about $70,000, so it was not your average um, middle class car. This was something more luxurious, and all three of these vehicles are electric. The Model X was kind of the same as the S, in the point that it was expensive. It was kind of geared more towards the higher end luxurious market. The only thing cool about that was the Model X was that it had the kind of like the butterfly doors. However, that ran into a lot of issues and kind of kept people from buying it as well. But where Tesla is going right, in my opinion, is the Model 3, which is a now very affordable electric vehicle, with still the same luxurious, sleek feel as their previous vehicles. It's priced at about 35,000, I think, for base, and that's not including tax write-offs since it's electric. Um, and this actually, it's very comparable to its competitors such as the Nissan Leaf or I think the Chevy Volt. Both of those vehicles are in the 30,000 price range. So the Model 3 is actually it's very affordable compared to its competitors, and it I think it just started getting delivered middle of the summer, and they should start hitting the roads a lot more with between now and the end of the year. Um, and then kind of going a little further into Tesla's innovations, they currently don't have fully autonomous vehicles, obviously. But one of their ideas, once they do hit fully autonomous, which according to Musk will be in the next 2 years, is their autonomous fleet that he's been advertising. Essentially, what it is it's an Uber using your car. So the way it would work is, once you're at work, your car is sitting in the parking lot, say for 8 hours a day. Well, what Musk wants to do is have you just go onto the app, be able to say sign up your car for the autonomous fleet, and while you're at work, your car can be driving around people who don't have a car or don't have a vehicle available to them at the time. And so you can be at work, obviously making money, and your car can be doing the exact same thing, and it could be right back in the parking lot, ready to take you home. And I don't know, to me, that's just pretty cool. It's something that is just another example of how Tesla and Musk like to go above and beyond just the general scope of what's expected of them. And like I touched on in the first slide, the Powerwall. This is just something pretty cool to me. It's literally a physical wall that is it's electric energy storage. So it's typically paired with solar panels to the point where obviously it'll consume electric energy and then it'll just store it. So whether you need to charge your vehicle, charge your phone, whatever it may be, it's just an extra source of electrical energy. Um, and currently it's a little expensive. I think for the wall itself, it's closer to $7,000, I think. But obviously, with the continued success of Tesla, um, they could get that price point a little lower. And I mean, a lot of people are looking to use solar panels, and this could definitely be something that they pair it with. So on to the Tesla business model. Um, One of the main aspects of Tesla's business is their emphasis on improving the customer experience. You see this in the fact that they don't have dealerships. This was a very different approach for Tesla. However, in my opinion, it was pretty smart because the thing that is dreaded most about buying a car, whether it's used or new, is having to deal with salespeople at a dealership. Um, I think that's the consensus worst part about buying a car. And Tesla has gone ahead and just said, all right, well, we don't want to use dealerships then. That gets rid of the dealership fees, gets rid of the them having to have inventory. In my opinion, it's just a smart move. And instead of dealerships, they use service centers. And so what these service centers are is essentially just a small retail space they can now put in highly populated areas. They don't need, I don't know, a big lot that typical dealerships have. Instead, they can have a very small space that just has, um, the Tesla name on the top and getting a lot of foot traffic, and it can just simply sell itself. Um, so this is a good move by Tesla, and I think it's really paying off. Um, and another thing is their supercharging networks. Obviously, the internal combustion engine still dominates the roads, but if Tesla is going to try and make the electric vehicle something more mainstream, something he'll have to address is the availability of gas stations versus charging ports, as well as the time it takes to charge. Obviously, driving around, you'll see, 2 or 3 gas stations on every main corner, whereas some gas stations, I know a lot of them now have at least one charging port. However, if there's a vehicle already charging, you have to drive around and find one, and it's not like it's mandated that every gas station has a charging port, so you can kind of be screwed in that regard. But what Tesla is doing is they are adding their supercharging networks around the globe, I think it is. But currently they have about 9,000 in the U.S. And what it is essentially a gas station, except it's all charging ports. And the cool thing about their charging networks is that it guarantees a charge, I think, within 5 minutes. So obviously that is pretty comparable to the time it takes you to fill up a gas tank or whatnot, because you can't be sitting, say, driving across the U.S. in a road trip and have to wait at a charging port for an hour or something like that. It's just not feasible. So if they can, I think, mainstream these networks a little more. I was looking at the map and they're a little scarce, but if they can, obviously, with more sales of electric vehicles, be able to get more of these networks out there, it'll definitely help in the long run. And something else I found when I was researching Tesla that I had not known is that they use very little to no money on advertising or marketing, which actually, if you think about it, makes sense because they kind of have that Apple iPhone effect of, when they announce, say, a new phone, there's already lines at the door. Whereas Tesla, looking at the Model 3, they just say, we're going to be selling an electric vehicle for 35,000. They already have over 500,000 reservations, which to even get a reservation, you have to put $1,000 down. Um, and they're still getting 1,800 reservations a day. And this is just by announcing they're going to be offering a $35,000 electric Tesla. And so it's kind of a no-brainer that they don't even need to market, because this kind of a cult-like following for them is selling itself. And people just want to be a part of the future. And if Tesla just keeps putting out luxurious vehicles, promising them the world, they're gonna keep following it and buying their cars. So onto the future outlook. Like I said, the Model 3, it has 500,000 plus reservations, and it's still gaining 1,800 a day. If Tesla is able to deliver these on time, I think the company has the potential to finally hit a year of profit. I do stress this word "if," however, because in the past Tesla has they kind of struggled hitting their numbers. They tend to overpromise and underdeliver at times, which it's kind of looking that might be the case right now with Model 3. I know if you reserve a car, you get put on a pretty hefty wait list. I think they said don't expect it for maybe a year, even more. So if they can really start hitting these delivery dates, I do think they can finally turn profit, even if some of these reservations cancel, because there will be some. However, just assuming the majority of them still purchase the Model 3, that sets Tesla up, like I said, for their first year of profit. Also, in the future, Elon Musk, he's already promised that in 2 years they'll have full autonomy. I think this sets up Tesla to be one of the first, if not the first, vehicle on the market with full autonomy. And obviously, something like this, being first to market, will be huge, because everybody wants to get on board. And I mean, I think everybody also wants to kind of be part of Tesla. And so if they can be first in the market with a capable, fully autonomous vehicle, it'll keep pushing that stock upwards and helping Tesla trend in the right direction. And under Musk, as well as their current leadership, I do think their creativity will continue to open doors for the company, whether it be in the autonomous fields or even beyond. They like to push the boundaries and really try to maximize what the company can do, and I don't think anything wrong can come of this. So I think Tesla will continue to be a household name, and they'll continue to lead the way in innovation. And with that, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.